talk about a few concepts you guys already are familiar with, but I want to review them because you'd be surprised how people don't know about these things. So let me, so Arabic has really two vowels. Actually, instead of sharing the screen, let me just do the do my document here. By the way, if you go to classwork, everything I shared with you yesterday in the books section, you guys can see, right? I have created a class whiteboard and notes. So everything that I will type, you will have access to it. It'll be right here. Is that good? You guys with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I just clicked on that. I didn't go to any special link. It's all there. We talked about the levels of Arabic and the diglossia and the talk about the colloquial spread and those kinds of things and the Arabic keyboard and all. It's all up here. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna start typing up here and we're gonna do it. So I would like to first talk about vowels first. So let's talk about vowels. And what I shall do, I'll organize this later, inshallah. So you know in Arabic, we have short vowels and long vowels, right? We have alif as a vowel. Alif is really not a letter of an alphabet. It doesn't have a sound by itself. It is a vowel. It always extends something like bab, right? So alif, I know this is tiny. I'll make this bigger if this is tiny for you, okay? Let me see if there's another way I can do this better for myself and you. Make it super large. Is this large enough? Is this okay?
Yes.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So bab, so alif is a vowel, right? Then we have, for example, Prophet Hud alayhi salam, we have wow as a vowel. These are long vowels, right? These are the vowels that are made up of the alphabet. So wow is an alphabet. So wow extends the sound and it's always ooh, okay? Ooh, and you have to round your lips. We'll do a little bit of tajweed hints here and there, just so that you guys can get the idea. And and for ya, we can do, for example, deek, which means rooster, right? So E, it's always E, okay? Deek, right? Then we have the short vowels. Short vowels, you all know, are the fatha, dhamma, and the kasra, right? So fatha is a short a, not a, right? Then we have the dhamma, which is u, a short u, and a kasra, which is a short e, right? So for example, we can say qalb. Qalb means heart, okay? So it's not qalb, right? It's qalb. It's quick. You guys with me?
Yeah.
It's too basic, I know, but I just want to make sure everybody is understanding this together. Well, we don't have a lot of students. I know what happened.
Yes, we understand.
Okay. And then, for example, for E, we have, U, we have, for example, I know you don't know these words, but I'm just going to just use them just to illustrate. Dhamma, nos, right? Nos, ooh, very short ooh sound, right? Not nos, it's just nos, right? And then we have, for E, we'll do, for example, we will do, I don't know, I can't read. I can't think of an E letter.
Kit.
E word. Yeah?
Kit for cat.
Tit, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Tit, right? So it's a really short E sound. Tit. I had a brain freeze there. Jazakallah khair. All right. So these are the long vowels and these are the short vowels. Remember we talked about hamzah. Hamzah is actually a consonant, right? It's not alif. Alif is not a consonant. Alif is just a vowel. Yeah, go ahead. Question? Okay. So alif is not a consonant. It is hamzah that is a consonant. Okay. But before we go there, let's complete the other kinds of vowel. So we have the tanween, right? Tanween. How do we write tanween? We write it this way: tanween. Okay, tanween. And you guys know what that is, right? So we have the an and the un, and then we have the in sound. And there's a purpose behind it. There's a reason, and you will understand those reasons, inshallah, soon. Okay, I'm not gonna talk too much about them. But when it comes to pronunciation, the way I want you to think about these is this way. So anything that's an un sound, I want you to think of it like an, like this. Okay. Is it making sense? An and
Yes.
un. Okay. And in. And this will help you tremendously later on if you actually think about tanween this way. Okay. Oops. Okay. An, un, and I'm sorry, in. Okay. All right. Then we have another type of sound that is not that we don't get from these vowels, which is called mad al-lim. Okay, you don't have to memorize any of this. Okay, you already know this. I'm just putting it here. There's an I sound. Okay, like bite. Okay, bite. Okay, this is a fatha followed by a ya letter. Okay, this is one of the lean sounds. Okay, you guys familiar with this, right? Feel free to interrupt me and ask questions. Okay. Then we have, for example, owl sound. The owl sound. The qawl, for example, qawl. Right? So the I sound and the owl sound. In transliteration, you will write it like this, okay? You will say bite, the I with the AY, okay? Clear? And for the owl, you will do AW. Oops. Clear? Everybody good?
I think you. Can I ask a question or
Sure.
a request? Whenever you gave us a word, can you translate it, because you didn't tell us what qawl meant and nus.
Sure. So I'm not worried about the words right now. I'm just helping with the reading. So these are not words for you to necessarily remember, but I will certainly give you the translations. Bab means door. Bab. Hud is the name of the Prophet Hud alayhi salam, right? Deek is a rooster. And then qalb is heart. Okay. Nus means half. Okay, or middle. Qit is a cat. Okay. The word tanween means to make the noon sound. That's what it literally means. Tanween means what? The action of making the noon sound. This is why I spelled it out this way. Okay. Mad lean, this is just the soft mud, is called lean. The word lean means soft. So the soft mud. Bait is house. And qawl is a saying, a speech, a statement. Statement is a better statement or opinion. Okay, qawl. All right. So I just wanted to review the vowels really quickly. So in summary, we have the the long vowels, which is like the alif here, and the waw, and the ya. Okay, these are the vowels that are made up of the consonants that we have, just like in English, you know, we have the A, E, I, O, U thing, right? It's the same. Then we have the short vowels. These are not in the alphabet, you will know that, but they kind of are made up and represent the alphabets, but they're the short forms of it. So this is a hamzah, which is the a sound, or alif sound, half of an alif sound, half of a wow sound. This is why it looks like a wow, because it's u, right? And this is the e, okay? Yes sound. All right. Then we have tanween, which means the act of making the noon sound. It is these same exact shapes of the short vowels, just doubled. Okay, so you have two fathas. This is called fathatan. You don't have to know this right now. Okay, it's okay. Fathatan, dhammatan, and kasratan. Okay. In Arabic, anytime you do an, it means a dual, but we will learn that later. You don't have to know any of this. And then we learned about the other sound in Arabic that is kind of an unusual from the regular vowels, which is the mad al-lin. So there's a I sound and the ow sound. So bait, I, which is always fatha followed by a ya, and the ow sound is always fatha followed by a waw. Clear? Okay. Then we didn't do shadda. Yes, go ahead.
Can you repeat
Yes.
that last part? It's always followed by?
A wow, right? Like here. Was that not clear? Ow, ow, ow.
I just missed it. I wasn't sure what you said.
Okay, okay. No, that's completely fine. But since you asked that question, anybody else has the question? A question on this? No, everybody's good. Okay. Let's talk about sukoon. What does sukoon do? Okay. Okay. What does the sukoon do? It stops the sound from any kind of vowelization. It stops the sound from any kind of extension. Okay. So this literally has no sound. It's just barely a sound, right? So this is barely a sound. Okay. And what it means is that anytime you see a sukoon, what does the word sukoon mean? Sukoon means rest. Sukoon means rest, resting, the resting notation. The only reason we use this is because we are trying to signify that that letter has no vowelization. So let's look at qalb, for example, right? So I'll do qalb again, which means heart. So how does this work? You did pronounce the lam, but did you elongate the lam or do anything with it? Did you go u, a, e, qalub, qalab, qalab, qalib? You didn't, right? You just do qal, right? So that's the purpose of it. Okay. And of course, you will learn that later on. This is not super important for you to immediately master or anything like that. If you know how to read the Quran, this is easy peasy stuff. You already know this. So sometimes you see, not sometimes, oftentimes you see a lot of people have trouble reading for example, the Quran without the tashkil. Tashkil means just these harakat, these signatures on top of the letters. So for example, we'll do these words again, just because I'm not feeling too creative today. So I'm going to reuse the same words that we did, and I don't want to overwhelm you with more words. A lot of the time you see this. The bab is like this, right? Bab. So the alif itself has a sukoon because it itself is not vowelizing, right? It is actually vowelizing the letter before it, correct? But when you become fluent in reading Arabic, you don't really need this at all, because you know this is a bab. There's no other way to read this other than a bab, right? There's no other way to read this. Can you read this any other way? Am I? Can I get some reaction? Is there any other way to read this? No, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially if you have difference between like Persian Qurans and Arabic Qurans, you see that difference, I feel like, in those scenarios.
Right. And for example, is there any way to read this other than hud? No, right? There's no other way to read this, because this is acting like a vowel. In English, you don't need ligatures and diacritics and signatures and tashkil, right? But a lot of people, for some reason, and I can't figure out for the life of me, unless you have this on top of it, they can't read it. Is that a struggle with you guys as well? And if so, please help me understand, so that I can explain better. But this is how you would put the vowel signs on it, but the short vowel signs. But you don't really need them because there's no other way to read it, unless the word begs to be read differently, which we will do. For example, if we had this, if we had this, you would go beat, right? Because this is the normal vowel, it's the E sound. There's no way for you to know that this is the I sound, bait, right? There's no way for you to know. Somebody has to tell you that it's bait, like that, right? In those cases, you would call it out. But bottom line is, beat is not even a word in Arabic, okay? So you will never read this beat. Whenever you see it, you'll automatically know this is bait, because your vocab is good. Clear?
Can you write bite?
In transliteration?
No, like the way you're breaking down.
Like this?
No, I mean, is there a way to write it without needing to put the short vowels?
Oh yeah, you just write it like this. Just exactly like that. Bait.
Okay. You were reading a beat. I was like,
Yeah, you could. If somebody who doesn't know a lot of vocab, you know, they'll go, I don't know how to read this word. Is it beat or is it bite? Right? I don't know. So but beat is not a word. Okay? It kind of is, but later, don't worry about it. It's too advanced. But this is normally when you see it, your first instinct would be, this is bite. Okay?
I was following up. I was following fine, and when you mentioned like Bob, so because the way it's written, so you know that makes sense. But when you say bite, then it doesn't follow the same rule in that sense.
Yeah, because I told you that your natural instinct would be to pronounce the E vowel as E, right? So this will be beat. All I'm saying is, you would not know any different if you don't have vocabulary that this is bait. So somebody has to put the fatha sound, so you know, oh, that's a madleen, and this is a I sound, bike. Okay, so somebody has to tell you that. Okay, but what I'm telling you is this. Whenever you see this, just assume it's bite. Okay, so just so you commit that pattern to memory. Okay, maybe we're spending too much time here trying to split hair. I don't want to confuse you. Okay, we'll move on if that's okay. My whole focus was for you to know that these are vowels. Okay, these are not consonantals. How do you say it? How do you say it? These are not consonants. Yes, I'm saying consonantal sounds. These are not that. They're vowel sounds. Clear?
Yes,
Their
that makes
purpose is to elongate the consonant before it. That's the whole reason they exist, and the way you would use them most of the time. Okay, and slowly, inshallah, you will develop the skill to read this. Okay. By the way, I think this review of the vowels is helpful. Would you agree? It's helping you.
Yeah.
Yes,
yes,
definitely.
yes, yes, for sure.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Alhamdulillah. We got a good one. So next is we will do shadda. Shadda. Okay. Shadda. Okay. Shadda means stress. What does it mean? Stress. Yeah. So if I write this, who can read this for me? What did I write?
Jadid.
Mhm.
Jayyid.
Yeah, that's right. Jayyid
Jayyid.
or
Jayyid.
jayyid or jayyid. Okay. It means good. Okay. Excellent. Jayyid. So if you do a good job, I'll go jayyid. Excellent. Great. Okay. Jayyid means good. For example, when you grade hadith, one of the grades of hadith is jayyid. Jayyid means it's good. It's lower than a hasan, but it's good. You say hadith jayyid, isnad jayyid. Isnad means chain. But anyways, what did I just do? I stressed the vowel, right? I stressed the vowel yeah, right? Jayyid. This is harf leen, but it's jayyid. So the way you would pronounce the way I want you to think about this is this way. Okay, whenever you see a shadda, you will go, it's two yas, okay? This is two yas. So it's jayyid or jayyid. Okay, this is how the shadda is represented. Did I lose you guys on this one? I will do more examples. Okay, for example.
So I have a question. So the second jayat that you wrote, like you have the what is it, the kasra. So if you don't have it, how, like I would pronounce it, how would I know to pronounce it jayid?
Without the fatha dhamma? Yeah, let's not even think about, I don't want you to think about that right now.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, just don't think about that. So example, if I want to spell out the word shadda, let me write shadda again. It has a shadda on it, right? So I want you to think about whenever you see a shadda, you will go shadda. This is how I want you to think about it. So whenever you see a shadda, always know that there is a doubled letter that exists there. Okay, there's a doubling of a letter, always. Okay, that's the purpose of it. That's why it has this double thing. Actually, this is actually a sheen symbol. They use a sheen symbol. This is why it looks like that. It doesn't have the dots on it, but it's really a small sheen, meaning it's shadda. Okay. Let's do another example. Makkah, right? Makkah. So you would read this as Makkah, right? Makkah. This is how you would read it. Is this making sense or no?
Yes.
Okay. Too much or okay?
It's okay.
You guys are
Yeah.
following? Okay.
Yes.
And Ustad, I just want to clarify. So on the sheen symbol for the shadda, like when it's on top, that's a fatha, and when it's below it, it's a kasra.
Yeah, thank you for asking. So in the computers, for whatever reason, I don't know, the developers are lazy. They whenever there's a thing at the bottom, just know it's a kasra below the shadda. I don't know why they do that. I do not like it, but there's different fonts you can use to fix that. Let me see if I can find a font that will not throw you off. Thank you for asking that, by the way. No, that font is bad too. Let me see. There's not a lot of options for me to play with. No, see, none of these fonts actually put it at the bottom. But I think it's okay. You guys can handle it. If there's a mark below the shadda symbol, know that that's a kasra, right? Okay, and if the mark is above the shadda symbol, it's a fatha. Thank you, Jazakallah khair, for asking that question. All right, good?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do hamza for a second. So hamza itself is, you can do a, u, and sorry, e, right? They're typically not written this way. A hamza is not typically, it's not written this way. It likes to have a seat. It likes a chair. Hamza likes a chair, always, okay? So it will be, a will be written like this, okay? And u will be written like this, and e will be written like this, okay? I don't even have to put the vowel marks. For u, I do, because there's no other way for me to know whether it's a u or a. But, this is how hamza likes to be, okay? It likes a chair, always, okay? Then we have hamza in two other shapes. You have seen those, this one and this one. You know this one? You've seen it before? So for example, in the word mu'minun, which means what? What does mu'minun mean? You should know this. We all are hopefully mu'minun. Yes, we are believers. Alhamdulillah. Yes. Mu'minun. Do I need to put, if I didn't put any vowels on it, would you be able to read it? Because it's a
Maybe
common
because you
knowledge,
said
it's
it.
part of a vocabulary. Okay, but it's part of a vocabulary though. Is it not part of a vocabulary?
It is, yes.
Okay, all right, good. So you typically in the Quran, you would see it written like this, right? Mu'minuna, right? I'm just gonna leave the ending off, and there's a reason for that, but that's okay. So, so sometimes it likes a chair. Again, you don't have to memorize this. Any of this that I'm sharing, okay, this is just for your information, and slowly you'll develop the skills to read, inshallah. And feel free to watch the recording again, and that'll help you, solidify this in your mind. The way this is really this. It's mu, and then it's hamza, and mi, noon. But hamza doesn't join. So what would you do? How would you write it other way? It doesn't like to join. It likes to stay by itself. Oh, I made a mistake here. Let me know. Okay. So it's really this, right? So why did I put a wow with the hamza on top? Just because it's a u sound. That's all. That's the only reason. It's the spelling rule. Okay, so this oops, let me color this differently. This thing became that thing just because of the oo sound. Okay, clear?
Yes.
Okay, that's the only reason it's like that. The hamza likes a chair. It likes to sit on things, right? And what you want to put, and it likes nice things, you know. It likes to go with the flow. It likes what am I sitting on? Am I sitting on a or a u or a e? You know, what am I sitting on? Okay. And the other one, for example, the word for 100 is mia. Okay, mia. Okay, mia. Okay, it's written like actually it's. I'm just gonna make up the spelling just for illustrative purposes. This is typically not how it's spelled. It's actually spelled differently, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. Mia. Okay, so I use this one. Okay. Okay. It's actually, let me put it on another line. It'll make more sense. We'll have more room to play with. Mia means 100. Okay. It's really me. And you can say it's made up of this and Chamarbuta. Okay. So it's really this Mia. Okay. But it likes a chair. So what chair are you gonna give it for the E sound? Mia. You're gonna give it the ya chair. Okay. So it like hamza likes a chair. That's it. That's what you gotta remember. Okay. And this only shows up in the middle of the word. In the beginning of the word, it likes an alif. Okay. It likes to sit on an alif. In the middle, it likes to sit on whatever sound it's trying to go along with or partner with. Okay. Cool. Was this good? Was this helpful?
Yes,
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Are you still feeling overwhelmed? Is anybody feeling overwhelmed?
No, it's good.
No. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So Hamza is I told you it's a troublemaker. It's a troublemaker. It has a lot of different shapes and forms. Subhanallah. So now I'm going to introduce you to something that probably very few of you have ever heard, maybe. Most likely. And it's going to turn light bulbs on in your head, okay? So there are two types of Hamza, okay? So there are two types of Hamza, okay? Two types of Hamza. There is Hamza, oops, this is too big. Can I go small for a second? It's too big. Okay. I'll make it big this way. There's Hamza al-Qat'i, okay? Hamzat al-Qat'i and Hamzat al-Wasli. Oh, Wasli, okay? I'll write it in Arabic as well. Hamza al-Wasli. I'll put the diacritic marks on there if you want. Hamza tul Wasli. And I want you to pay attention, okay, on this one. Not that you weren't before, but just for emphasis. Hamza. And please write this down. This is going to be important for you. I can't type. Hamza tul Qat'i. Okay. The word qata means to cut, to chop, right? To separate. And wasl means to connect. Okay? which reminds me of a beautiful, beautiful ayah in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah. I'm going to bring that up. Okay, I'm just using this as a mnemonic for you. But at the same time, we'll do a little bit of tafsir just so that we can connect with the Quran, because that's the reason we're here, right? Inshallah, right? Inshallah.
Yes, inshallah.
Inshallah, yes.
Yes.
Yes, inshallah.
Yes. So, what was that? Yes. So I don't know if you're familiar with Surah Al-Baqarah, but it starts with the discussion on what the believers are, and then it goes into the discussion, very quick discussion on who the disbelievers are, and then there's like a lot of ayat about the munafiqun. Okay, so the first page is about the believers. The ayah about kafirun are the first couple of ayat, okay? Then from here to the middle of this page, it's all about, until this ruku' sign, kulli shay'in qadir, this is all about hypocrites, the munafiqun, okay? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes into proving an evidence of why he needs to be worshipped. So it immediately starts with, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, everyone in the world, whoever's reading this, right? Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, u'budu rabbakum, worship your Lord. Okay. So this whole passage is about evidence of why we should worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings rational argument after rational argument after rational argument. Inshallah, when you go into the tafsir class, or if I ever get an opportunity, I'd love to teach you that. I also teach Islamic studies, by the way. Okay, so there's a very beautiful ayah here, which has a lot of, dimensions of meanings. If you guys, I don't know if you guys have memorized Surah Al-Baqarah in the beginning, but you'll remember this ayah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, talking about the fasiqeen, those who are corrupt, okay, the corrupt-minded people, fasiq. Fasiq means corrupt. Fasiqeen is just a plural. It's actually fasiqun, the plural of fasiq, which means corrupt, or disobedient, like defiantly disobedient is a fasiq, okay? The reason it's not fasiqun, it's fasiqeen, inshallah, we'll learn that later. Okay, but just know that it's one and the same. It's the plural of fasiq. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the defiantly corrupt and the defiantly disobedient. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الَّذِينَ يَنْقُضُونَ عَهْدَ اللَّهِ. These are the people that break the covenant of Allah. So Allah, what is the covenant of Allah? It's the Tawheed. It's a very, very multi-dimensional. I can spend 2 hours just talking about this ayah. I'm not going to do that. But okay, it is ahad. Ahad means a covenant, promise, contract. In our deen, everything is a contract. Everything is a contract. Our tawheed is a contract with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ilaha illallah is a contract. Muhammadur Rasulullah is a contract. Everything is a contract. Contract are super, super, super important in our deen. They are the foundation of our deen. Everything is contract. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the contract. Those who break the contract of Allah, min ba'di mithaqihi, after we had ratified the contract, after we did the mithaq, okay, after we had agreed upon it. Again, tafsir land, totally different discussion. I'm going to spend a couple of hours on that. Then look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. So Allah's talking about the fasiq people, the disobedient people. These are the ones who break the covenant. وَيَقْطَعُونَ, and they do qata. Qata, they cut. مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِهِ, what Allah has ordered. مَا أَمَرَ اللَّهُ بِهِ أَنْ يُوصَلْ, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered to be joined, they cut it. Okay? Again, this is a very deep ayah, as you can guess, right? There's a lot of analogies here. But did you see the word qata here? I know it's in a different shape and form, but yaqta'un, they cut, and yusal, they join. Okay? So it just reminded me of this ayah. So next time when you read this ayah, hopefully you will remember what I'm about, the discussion I'm about to go into. But just to complete the ayah, just to give it its haqq, its due, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those who break the covenant after it has been ratified and then cut what Allah has ordered to be joined, وَيُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ, and they do fasad on earth. They sow corruption on earth. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. Those are the ones, they are indeed the losers, the ultimate losers on the day of judgment, essentially. Okay, so just remember qata and wasl. So when we look at hamza, it's hamzatul qat'i, hamza that cuts, and hamzatul wasli, hamza that joins. With me? Okay, sorry I went into tafsir land. Did you guys enjoy that, or that was just
Yeah,
too
no,
much?
we really enjoyed it very much.
Oh, you really enjoyed that? Okay, good, alhamdulillah. I'll do that from time to time.
No, I
inshallah, okay?
appreciate that. It's putting into context what we're learning. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Yes, of course. So everything that we did about hamza thus far, it's all hamzatul qat'i. Did you see it? It's a glottal stop, right? It's a, u, I, mu, minun. Okay, mi'a. Okay, what is it? It is
Joining.
It is a glottal stop. It's cutting the sound, right?
Yes,
This, by the way, this is how you write mi'a. Okay, this is the actual spelling of mi'a. Okay, you put an alif there. It's just a spelling rule. Don't ask me. Okay, so I just made it simple for you. By the way, so that's hamzatul qat'i. What is hamzatul wasli? What is hamzatul wasl? What does that look like? You guys know exactly what it looks like. It looks like, actually, I'll make it large. It looks like this. Let's see if I can figure it out how to. Yeah, it looks like this. It's an alif with this small sod on top, sod symbol. Have you seen this before?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a raise of hands virtually on how? Okay, awesome. So a lot of you have seen it. For example, do you recognize this word?
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Yes.
It's a joke. Of course you recognize this word. Who doesn't recognize this word? It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Guess what letter Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name starts with?
Hamza.
Hamzatul wasl.
Hamzatul wasl. Joining.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. Okay. For example, if I write,
Yeah, that's true.
if I write this, how do you read that?
Min
Min Allah. Yeah, exactly. What happened to the Hamza sound?
Disappears.
It's gone.
Silent.
Right. It didn't exist. Right. It's you read it like this, Min Allah, right? It's gone. That's exactly what happened. That's why it's called a wasl. It is a connecting Hamza. Okay. This is a cutting Hamza or glottal stop. Okay. So it loses its presence, its existence, when something is preceding it. It loses its function when something precedes it. Okay, so let's look at the examples in the Quran. Yes, go ahead. Question? Okay. Let's look at Surah Al-Fatiha, right? Can you find Hamzatul Wasl here? There's so many, right? There's so many. Bismillahir Rahman. What happened? Hamzatul Wasl just dropped because that's what it does. Okay. Rabbil Alameen. alif dropped. You connected the ba directly with the lam, right? And in this case, you connected the ha directly with the ra. We will learn that why that happens, inshallah, very soon, and not today. In a short few lessons, we'll learn. Okay. And if I were to connect this, well, how would I connect these two ayahs? I will say, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, right? I can connect, and the hamzah al-wasl drops, it goes away, right? Everybody with me? This is clear?
Yeah.
Yes, this is clear.
But look at this hamzah al-qata, this iyaka. When I'm gonna join, it's not gonna drop, it's gonna stay. Maliki yawmiddini iyaka. I will say it. I have to say it. It doesn't go away. Clear? Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka. We don't say wayyaka. We don't drop it. We pronounce it because that's what it's there for. It's hamzatul qata. Wa iyyaka nasta'in. Okay? Ihdina. Now you will go, oh, this is the Arabic Quran. I don't know how to read it. I don't know it's uhdina or ihdina or ahdina. I don't know. I'll teach you. Not today. I think you guys are like, you look like dazed and super overwhelmed right now. To tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm not going to talk about that today. Okay? Although it's not that complicated. It's actually a very simple rule. But this is ihdina as-sirat. So ihdina as-sirat, again, hamzatul wasl dropped. Sirat al-mustaqim, the wasl dropped. Sirat al-ladina an'amta alayhim ghayr al-maghdubi alayhim. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, clear? Okay, hamzatul wasl drops when there's something before it. That's the rule. Okay, and because we're super lazy, we don't like to draw too many symbols. Hamzatul wasl is typically written just like alif. Okay, so you will write Allah like this. You won't write the little sod symbol on top. Okay, that sod symbol comes from the word wasl. This wasl has a sod in it, right? So that's why it's a sod symbol. Okay, and the hamzatul qata looks like the top head of an ayn, doesn't it? It looks like the head of an ayn. That's exactly what that symbol is for. It's a glottal stop. That symbol is the head of an ayn. Hamza has its shape because it's the head of the ayn. It doesn't sound like an ayn, but that's what it represents. Okay, it's a glottal stop. And because we're super lazy, we don't put the sod. So if you see a regular alif, know that that's hamzatul wasl. Okay.
That's so amazing. Really, that is so amazing. I've never heard that explained before.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Questions? I know I threw a lot at you.
This is a small question. Like when you say glottal stop, what does that actually mean, glottal?
Like ba, ma, ba. I have a stop. I'm not extending. I'm not saying ba, ma. I'm doing ba, ma.
Like abrupt.
Okay. Like for example, the word for water. What is the word for water? Does anybody know? Ma. Ma. Okay, ma. How do I say? Ma. Okay. And the word for sky? Sama. Sama. Okay. So it's a glottal stop. You just stop. You don't extend. You cut the vowel.